A new global lockdown is coming and it's getting serious. This time it's all about energy. Countries are rationing gas. Some are putting limits on how much fuel you can buy. Others are even grounding flights. Slovenia has already become the first country in Europe to implement fuel rationing. South Korea is doing the same thing. They're putting QR codes at the gas pump that limits how much gas each citizen can buy. The Philippines is trying to ground all flights because they don't have any fuel. American Airlines has cut flights by 5%. Governments around the world are trying to push work-at-home mandates to save fuel. Even the International Energy Agency is trying to restrict non-essential travel. Now, does this sound familiar? In 2020, we were told that lockdowns would only last a few weeks. It lasted years. Now, instead of a health crisis, we could be entering a period of peak energy, and that could be just as dangerous as a virus. The new world will be dominated by the power triad: compute, data, and energy. Energy is the foundation of everything. If oil prices don't start coming down, if geopolitical tensions continue, it will keep impacting supply chains, financial markets, global stability. This is bigger than the COVID lockdown. This is a system shift.
You ready for another lockdown? Buckle in. It's going to be called the energy conservation lockdown. It's going to be the same playbook from the 2020 global pandemic lockdown. They're just going to repurpose it and change the title to energy conservation so they can keep you in the house. So let's talk about it. So, the war in the Middle East, gas prices, crude oil through the roof. Countries like Thailand, India, Asia, they're all already standing in line for gasoline. Australia has already gone so far to already put restrictions in place. Work from home, alternate days that you can drive your car on the street based on your driver's license. We want you to carpool. All of that is because of the war in the Middle East and the gas prices going through the roof. And you're probably saying, I don't care. I don't live there. That's not my problem. Remember, the pandemic was a global lockdown. And think about it. Wasn't New York City trying to float a new bill just last week where they were going to implement an 11 p.m. curfew to conserve energy? These million-dollar companies are building data centers everywhere. How do you think they're going to run those data centers? They need energy. And now, conveniently, there's this whole energy crisis due to the war in the Middle East, because we are reliant for our oil from other countries. And one of the reasons why is because the refineries that were in California got shut down by that group of people. And Trump wants to open one back up. And Newsom and his homies are protesting it. We don't want the refinery reopened because we had an oil spill. We don't want it reopened anymore, which is code for we want to be reliant on oil from other countries because we get kickbacks. So when you're wondering what is going on with the war in the Middle East, this is what's going on. The interesting thing is you guys will come in the comments and tell me that none of this is true when Google is for free. But I want you guys to really dig into what is going on. Pay attention. AI data centers, curfews. Do you think for 1 second they are not literally planning another global lockdown retitled energy conservation? Let me know down in the comments. You ready for another lockdown? I'm sure there's a bunch of you who would love to work from home again because y'all was crying when they took it away. They give you what they want you to have and they take it away. They give it to you and they take it away, and you guys fall for it every single time.
again, World Health Organization, prepare for what's coming. Let's check out what is coming. Oh, well, what's this? Energy lockdown has started. Let's look further into it. I see this oil price right here. Let's go further into it. All right, well, check this out. The International Energy Agency published an energy lockdown. Alternating driving days based on license plates, mandatory speed limit. Let's keep looking. 3, avoid air travel where alternatives exist. That's most places. Switch from gas cooking to electric. Work from home. Does this all sound familiar? Does it? It's the exact same playbook, but even harsher the second time around. So we cannot be playing games with this one. And it's coming. There's no stopping this energy crisis that they created. Isn't that fucking funny? They created it, and now we have to deal with it. It's how it always fucking goes. Entertainment purposes only.
So a new lockdown is being introduced around the world. And no, it's not like the 2020 lockdown. They're calling it an energy lockdown. And what that means is that a lot of countries are now putting in measures like you should only work from home. You should only leave your house for essential travel. Airlines are also cutting their flights. American Airlines have just dropped their flights by 5% this week. Now, energy prices are going up, and it's going to become a situation where some people actually cannot afford to leave the house because energy prices are so high. If you go to your local petrol station right now, the prices are already up and the full effect hasn't even hit yet. I mean, don't get me wrong, the work from home situation, that sounds like a benefit for a lot of people. So I can get why for a lot of people that's awesome and that's great. But when you're having governments tell you only go out for essential travel or avoid any other travel apart from essential travel, not great. And remember, back in 2020, lockdown was only meant to be for 2 weeks. It lasted 2 years. And how far is this going to go to the point where it becomes mandatory? Because no one thought that was going to happen in 2020, but it did. So could we go down that same road again? Is it going to be the same as 2020? What do you guys think?
Okay, hold on a second. If we were in 2019 right now and someone made a video saying, hey, here's what's going to happen in 2020, 21, and 22, including the 2 week to flatten the curve, which turned into 2 or 3 years, and all the other crazy stuff, you'd want to hear about it, right? To be prepared, to be aware, to know what's coming around the corner. Well, we have an idea as to what is about to happen because of the energy crisis that's looming right now and really in the midst. So listen to this. The International Energy Agency released their Sheltering from Oil Shocks report on Friday. And they listed steps. This is kind of like when we have advisories coming out of the World Economic Forum saying, well, we should probably do this if we want to slow the curve. This is another version of that. And this is what they're suggesting to do to be able to slow or stop the effect of the supply shock. So this is a 10-point plan. And if we were to follow the plan, restrictions to movement would be apparent. Now, to clarify, some of this is not confirmed. Some of this is opinion. Some of this is conjecture. We're wondering how exactly this is going to pan out. But listen to this. You got to read between the lines. Alternating days that you can drive on the road based on your license plate. Speed limits lowered everywhere. This is just what they've tabled. It's not confirmed. It's not mandated or anything yet. Car-free Sundays was suggested. This says 40% of flights cut, but that's not confirmed, but there would be less air travel. Working from home is already being suggested in Vietnam, Thailand, and all throughout Asia. Carpooling would be heavily suggested. And also people would want to do that anyway if the price of gas and diesel is through the roof. Now, they're going to call this temporary energy measures. We know that. However, remember, it was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and it lasted 2 years. They're calling it temporary energy measures during a war, but wars last decades. We know during Shmovid-19, that took away many people's right to gather. This could affect our right to move.
The Philippines officially now under a state of national emergency, nearly a month since the United States and Israel first launched strikes against Iran. And this declaration made by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. painted a gloomy picture saying Philippine-flagged commercial airplanes could be grounded if the conflict in the Middle East continues and oil and gas shipments remain disrupted. But nothing exemplifies this state of emergency more than petrol stations across the country where prices have been soaring. And you can see here diesel prices already in the 3 digits equivalent to more than $2 a liter, prices that were unimaginable just 4 weeks ago. And that's why senators have been urging the president to declare a state of national emergency. And finally, on Tuesday evening, the president relented. But what does this mean? It means that there must be enough funds to be able to give cash dole-outs and fuel subsidies. It ensures that there is continuous supply of food, agricultural products, as well as other basic necessities. It ensures that law enforcement is deployed to prevent hoarding. But most importantly, it ensures that there is enough supply of energy. But the main concern, of course, for most Filipinos is the domino effect of rising oil prices, which is inevitably and eventually a cost of living crisis.
I mentioned that the IEA chief basically said the shit is hitting the fan, everything's falling apart, and he just published Lockdowns 2.0, an energy lockdown playbook. They released a 10-point plan over the weekend telling governments to restrict driving, ground flights, force remote work, and ban gas cooking. They called it sheltering from oil shocks, writes Aaron Day. Here's the plan. Number one, they are recommending alternating driving days based on your license plate number, odd plates on Monday, even plates on Tuesday, and countries are now already implementing this. They are recommending mandatory speed limit reductions on every highway, not for safety, but fuel rationing by another name. You can still drive, just slower and less often. Number three, avoiding all air travel where alternatives exist. They didn't define what that actually meant, but the ambiguity, writes Aaron Day, is the feature. It lets regulators decide after the fact whether your trip was essential or not. Non-essential versus essential. Does that ring any bells? Here's another one. Switch from gas cooking to electric. The IEA is now telling you what appliances you can use in your kitchen. And the same agency that published net zero by 2050 is calling now for thermostats to be capped at 19 degrees and a ban on new gas boilers. This is not new. It's accelerating. And then work from home if possible. The guidelines mimic 2020 when they locked down the world and called it public health. In 2026, they're locking down movement and calling it energy security.
Oh, here comes the machine. It's gonna get you. Oh, the claw's gonna get you. Don't run from me. Don't run from me. Don't run from me. It's gonna get you. No. You're gonna get it. No. Oh, yeah. The machine. The machine is gonna get you all at the same time.
A new global lockdown is rolling out around the world, and it's starting to feel very similar to 2020. But this time, it's not a health emergency, it's an energy crisis. The International Energy Agency just released a plan called Sheltering from Oil Shock, recommending governments to restrict travel on certain days. So what that means is you'll have allocated driving days based upon your license number. Speed limit reductions to save on fuel. Avoiding air travel, and many airlines have begun cutting flights. Recommending to work from home where possible, which sounds harmless until you realize how easy it becomes for companies to run with fewer people, especially with AI these days. Remember in 2020, they locked down the world in the name of public health. Now in 2026, they're locking down the world in the name of energy security. They're calling it temporary measures, but temporary measures have a way of becoming permanent. Now, I'm not saying that this means lockdowns are coming tomorrow, and they didn't in 2020, but it does show you how quickly the rules can change.
In there.